Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have from Westboro, we have Jim Noble. And Jim is doing one of the greatest things. I saw his business card at a local restaurant. And I have a tendency to stand there and see who looks really unique and different. Jim is the owner, director, he's his own boss, called Caring Hands. And Jim, welcome. You're going to tell us about what you are. First of all, how did you think of this idea?
Well, I retired, and after about a month, I went crazy. I mean, I can't sit still. I'm just antsy.
Yeah.
So I actually went to work. My wife works at a nursing home, so I went to work there part-time a little bit and ran activities. I helped to run activities.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I had more fun with the people, but there were some political things going on there, and I decided that I was going to leave.
The red tape.
Yeah, it just wasn't fun. At the beginning it was fun, and then it wasn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking with my wife. I said, what can I do where I work with elderly people?
Yeah.
Because I love elderly people. I am an elderly people.
No way.
Honestly. I know, it's hard to believe.
You retired early, though. I'll betcha.
Yeah, when I was 32.
Yeah.
I'm 35 now.
Well, see.
Yeah, and I bleached my hair white. But, so we were talking about what I could do, and we came up with this, you love to be with people, you like to help people, so let's put together a list of things that you'd like to do and see what we can do.
When you were growing up, I don't know if you had the same experience I did. Were you, I was practically an only child, a lot around adults all the time. Were you around older adults, see your grandparents, your great-grandparents? So you were used
Back
to this.
then, families all lived together. We lived in the same house as my grandparents and my aunt and uncle. I mean,
Yeah, I was used to it. So I got used to at a very early age how to have fun and how to talk with grandpa or great-grandma. Even play the piano with my great-grandma. But some people have that knack, and you have it.
yeah, I guess.
So, okay, you and your wife decided, let's try this. Caring Hands.
Yeah.
Now, what do you...
And my goal was that she would retire one day and we would do it together. But I've been doing this now for like around 3 years, and she's still working.
And she's still working. And she works in the nursing home still.
Works in
Is
the
she a
nursing.
nurse, Jim?
She's not a nurse. She's a administrator, assistant administrator. She's also a receptionist. She's a jack of all trades. She's the person that everybody in the place goes to.
Yeah.
She's beautiful, and she's caring, and she loves the people. She's a hugger, and so everyone loves her there. And
Everyone.
it's hard for her to leave it.
Oh, my. Do you have kids?
I do.
Grown kids, right? What do they think of what you're doing?
I think they think it's great.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's great.
Are you a grandpa?
I am the grandpa of 4 of my own and 2 steps.
So they get to see how grandpa's doing, too. So, you're a power of example. You're showing what can be done.
Yeah, I think so.
Where'd you grow up, Jim?
Brighton, Brookline, Newton.
Oh, okay. So where'd you go? Did you go to college after high school?
I did. I went to junior college, transferred to BU. I wanted to be a PhD in psychology.
Yeah.
And I decided I would never, ever, ever accomplish that. I really didn't enjoy school. And back in those days, my father, it was my stepfather, but I call him my father, was a sales guy.
Oh, so it was mine.
And,
Yeah.
I used to travel around with him a little bit, and I wanted to get into sales.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I quit school.
Yeah.
And while I was in school and in high school, I worked with a lot of children with disabilities.
Right.
And back then we called them retarded children. Now they're
Challenged.
challenged children.
Yeah.
And I loved doing that too.
Yeah. I can see where you would be good at that.
Yeah. So I mean, I've always tried to be there to help other people.
Yeah.
In school, I always befriended the kids that had no friends.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was the question that you had?
Okay. So you went to college. What did you
Oh.
major? Did you major in anything in particular?
Psychology.
Psychology.
Yeah.
Did you stay the whole 4 years, or did
No,
you say nah?
no.
You were like I am. You got bored, right?
I did not, and again, I was not the greatest student.
Yeah.
And
I think we can, a lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah.
We just kind of skidded right by.
I just wanted to get out and make money.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to get out and have fun. I wanted to do something that was fun. But
Well, I had fun. I already had a lot of fun.
I mean, if I was going to make money, I wanted to enjoy it. That's been with me for years. I mean, my father generation didn't quite see it that way. You're going to have to do this, or you're going to have to do this, or whatever. But, you know, he would kill himself working at something he didn't like. I'd be like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So then you left there. What did you
I
do?
left there. I went to work for an insurance company,
Yeah?
and I liked the one-on-one in that aspect of it. But back in those days, they didn't sell insurance like they do now.
Yeah.
So it was mostly just selling death benefits, and it was depressing talking about dying to people and things like that. And I did it for, I don't know, a couple of years, and I actually did very well. I
Yeah.
was the top guy in my agency several times. From there, I actually got involved with a guy that I knew that owned a very small, low-voltage electronics company. Back in the days before cable TV, apartment communities had master antenna systems.
Yeah.
And that's all low voltage. So we did master antenna systems, alarm systems, apartment house intercom systems, things like that, anything that didn't require high voltage. And so I went in with him. He needed somebody that could do the selling
Yeah.
because he had zero personality.
That helps too. You've got to have a good buddy.
Yeah. So we worked together for about a year, and we were having a hard time building the business up.
Yeah.
And it's a funny story. One time we were putting an antenna system on top of a high-rise in Boston,
Oh,
and he and I went to check it out.
yeah.
And we were up there, and I couldn't take him anymore. And I said, I had a serious thought of pushing you over the side.
Oh, what did he say?
I said, so, I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
One of us is going to leave.
And it ain't going to be you, right?
It's going to either be you or me. And, he said, but I can't do it by myself. I said, good. So, I'll buy you out. Which I did.
Yeah.
At a reasonable price. Of course, I didn't realize that he stole the last 3 checks out of the checkbook and wrote himself some checks. But, whatever. So, I built the company up in a very short period of time, and we had, it was a nice little company.
Yeah.
And I actually had a company that thought they were going to become, I don't want to say the name of the company, a major retail operation.
Sure.
But they needed some cash flow.
Yeah.
So,
You stepped in.
no, they wanted to buy me out.
And did they? They bought you out.
They ended up buying me
And you were
out.
happy with that?
Yeah, I was like
Okay.
28, 29 years old. They bought me out. It allowed me to
Yeah.
buy a new car, buy a house in Sudbury.
Well, you've been an entrepreneur. I'm catching a pattern here for most of your life.
I have been on and off as an entrepreneur, yeah.
Now-
I've worked for companies. I've been vice president of a couple of companies, but I've owned 3 or 4 companies myself.
This is pretty cool. Remind me, my dad was like that. But in my growing up years, he stuck with one company. We moved all over New England as he went up in the company, but then he decided to leave. He got fed up with the way they were firing young men who needed So Dad said, no, I'm not going to be the one to fire these guys. I just hired them, and they're good family guys. I'm out. So he opened up Lewis Printing in Dennisport. Did that for a few years, but I think it was just, he was such a hard worker, I think it just burned him out, and he
Yeah.
sold it to his employee. Then he went back into a corporate thing where he was selling again. Now, we're talking with Jim Noble, and he is the one who founded Caring Hands. Jim, what does Caring Hands do?
Well, I got a little sign
Yeah,
over
Paul,
here.
if you can zero in on this, he's going to go right through it with us. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I do all kinds of different things, okay? I look at myself, I'm not an Uber driver type of guy. I'm more of a companion than anything else. I love to be with people. A good portion of what I do is also transportation.
Yeah,
But again, I don't pick people up, drop them off, pick them up after appointment.
you stick around.
I stay with the people.
Yeah.
Majority of the people that I deal with can't walk well.
Sure.
Use walkers, use crutches, some use wheelchairs.
Yeah.
So I mean, they love the fact that I'm with them, that I help them, I hold their arm and go in with them.
Let me ask you a question. Boy, I can think of a great place for you. Somebody's going in for surgery. I don't care what age we are as adults, we're all big kids, and I don't think any of us looks forward to it. Maybe you don't have somebody to go with you. You would actually go, and you would, like a family, stay there in the waiting room during the day, waiting to take them home if they were going home. Or when they wake up upstairs, you could be there and say hi and
Next
be with them.
Wednesday, I have that, actually.
You're going to be doing that. That's almost like a surgical buddy.
I have a woman that is going in. Her husband has some serious dementia, and I actually work with them.
Yeah.
And I take him out shopping because she needs some spare time.
Yeah.
So we go to the market and we do some shopping. But she said to me, you know, I have to go in, I have to have some X amount of surgery.
Yeah.
And their kids don't live locally. Would you take me? I said, not only will I take you, I'll wait for you.
I'll
and
stay with
I'll
you.
be there for whatever you need.
And day surgery, right?
Yeah. I hope it's day surgery.
This is so needed.
Yeah.
We need to know when we're going in for surgery. I mean, I speak for myself, other people, that there's somebody out there that cares for us, is waiting for us.
Now, in some cases, I will go actually into doctor's appointments with my client
Yeah, take notes.
and take notes.
Yes.
And pass it on to the children, you know, because they don't remember what went on. And so I'll give them the notes, and then I'll, if they want, they can call, or I'll call the children and tell them what happened.
Have you let UMass and Milford know about what you do? What you
No.
provide? Oh my gosh, you're needed. Oh, we're going down the thing. Transportation errands.
Yeah, I do a lot of errands for people. I've had a lot of people that are homebound, and they have me do shopping for them. They give me a shopping list, and I do shopping for
Okay, I
them.
tried that one time. I was a nanny. It wasn't for a senior citizen, but I tried that. And I felt like, geez, if I don't get this exactly right, I'm going to get yelled at. Because sometimes they don't have exactly what that person is looking for, so you got to come home. Couldn't find it. Well, it's always there. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, well, I have a cell phone, so, if I had that problem, I would call people.
Yeah, okay. That's a
But
good
I didn't run into that a lot. I do probably 80% of the shopping for my house.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with shopping.
So you know.
Yeah.
How about, here's a good one. Would you be, now most men do not like to go clothes shopping or that type of
I
thing.
love clothes shopping.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, what if somebody said they would want to go to the thrift shop? Would you be willing to take them?
Of course, I would take them anywhere.
So when I
I take them out for ice cream. I take them out for coffee. I take them shopping.
All right, so when I get to be about 100 years old, if there's no one else in my life, I can call you.
Absolutely, but I'll probably be 120 by then.
All right, so we've got the home or office organization. Clutter removal. May I bow to you?
And I've done that for some people.
How do you do this? I mean,
The last one I did, and I don't do a lot of it, but the last one I did was in an apartment complex.
Yeah.
And the woman had a big storage thing, and she said, "It is a mess in there. I don't even know what is in there."
yeah.
So we went down there and took a look at it, and that was not an easy task for her.
Oh.
But we went down, took a look, opened the door, and it looked like, who was it, the closet?
The hoarding thing, the hoarding show?
No, there was a TV show.
Oh,
What do you
yeah.
call this closet? You opened the door and everything fell out.
I heard my parents, somebody talked about it.
Yeah, whatever. It was a mess. I mean,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
were all over the place.
Yeah.
And she said, we can get rid of this stuff, we can get rid of this stuff. This stuff has to be,
Yeah.
So I think it took me about 3 or 4 hours, and I straightened everything up. I found some wood shelves down in the basement there, and I put them on like bricks and things, and I made some shelves. And she came down and looked at it. She couldn't believe what I had done.
I'm not believe what I'm hearing.
And the stuff she didn't want, I threw out. I took to the dumpster. and
So
threw
she
out.
didn't mind if you decided what goes and what stays?
Well, she basically told me what you wanted to keep,
Okay.
but no. And junk is junk.
This is amazing. We're talking with Jim Noble, and he is the maestro of caring hands. Jim, how do people reach you?
Hey you. Hey you, I say, hey you. I can be reached by cell phone. I can be reached by email.
Which is?
By text. My cell phone number is 508-889-6444.
And your email?
Is jim.mycaringhands@gmail.com.
Now, are you available 24/7?
No.
No. What's your cutoff?
I generally don't work weekends.
Okay.
I like being with my wife. We have a great time together. So I don't. Doesn't mean to say I never do. I have on occasion. And I've actually even done some things with clients, like gone to the art museum and things like that.
Oh, wow.
And like on a Saturday or Sunday, and my wife goes with me, and we go and spend an afternoon.
Whoa, my God,
Yeah.
where were you when my father... My father might have budged a little on his stubbornness, you know, if he thought another guy might, but then again, he was... Okay,
yeah.
so relocation? You help move people?
Well, I'm not a mover, but the last one I did was a lady in Concord.
Yeah.
She had a big old house, and she was moving to a smaller place in another state to be closer to her children.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what to do, and the kids didn't know what to do. And so they called me, and I went in there, and she could move around. A little bit of dementia, but she could move around. And so she wanted to keep everything.
Yeah.
And I had to fight with her a lot of times. You know, I called 2 men in a truck and stuff like
Oh,
that.
I've used them, yeah. I've done
Yeah.
that, yeah.
And I helped her pack.
Yeah.
I helped her decide what things she could or couldn't take. We argued about a lot of it. I said, "You're not going to have a room for that.
Yeah.
Do you want to rent a storage
You have a
facility
lot
down
of
there?"
patience.
I am very patient. My wife wouldn't think I am,
But you are.
yeah, I am very patient. I'm just a quick story about that. I have a client that I take care of that lives in a nursing home,
Yeah.
and I spend 2 afternoons a week with him. I bring him lunch, and we sit and talk. He has serious dementia.
How old is he?
92.
Just a kid.
Just a kid.
He could be your father, most likely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe my grandfather, because I'm only 35. I told you.
Okay, well, that's
But in the course of the time, his short-term memory is zero.
Zippo.
Zippo.
But long-term, he could probably tell you the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the course of the few hours that I'm with him, I would say at least 50 times he says, "Where am I?
Oh,
And what town am I in?"
yeah.
And I tell him, and we go over it, and 2 minutes later he can say, "Where am I?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
I always could take care of myself. Why can't I do that
But
now?"
who reached you to get you to be with him? His kids?
His daughter, yes.
His daughter got. You find that happens a lot, Jim?
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
And I have a feeling they found me at South Street Diner also.
Okay, you're thinking, well, what are they talking about? We're going to give them a plug. Over in Westboro, there is a wonderful, it's not really what you think of as a diner. It's an
No, it's a
elegant
restaurant.
It's an elegant little restaurant.
Yeah.
Very affordable, or I wouldn't be there. And the food is,
I'm sorry.
go there for breakfast. And boy, is it good. And they have on their way out, very clever, they have a place for our business cards. And so being
And
a
the
host-
bulletin board. that you could-
Exactly, but being my guest, I'm on the way out. I'm like, see this one, and this is how I found Jim Noble. I said, what an amazing, this man has taken this on all by himself. You're not an organization, you're not a corporate whatever, and it's not a branch of anything. This is you alone, and you've done it for 3 years. Have you seen business grow a little bit?
It's a tough business in that I'm dealing with elderly people, and I lose people. And people, pass, go to nursing homes.
Sure.
In the past 3 months or 4 months, between people passing and going to nursing homes, I've lost like 3 major clients. So I'm working to build that up again.
Yeah.
I am affiliated with a franchise, and so I I actually fill in for him when he needs somebody, and he has filled in for me.
Okay, but it's not your business. This is
No,
his business.
no, just-
You should see Jim's shirt. It says "Caring Hands," and you had a design with a little patch on it, right?
Yeah.
Because I was wondering what was he wearing when he sat down. I said that is so great. Now we're going down the list, Paul. If we can get back on now. Contact your contact tractor for your house, right?
Yeah, somebody, there was a woman that I dealt with that wanted to have some shelves built.
Yeah.
Said, "Can you do it?" I said, "Yeah, in my younger days I could, but I don't do it anymore. I don't do that stuff anymore." So she said, "Can you help me find somebody?"
Yeah.
But I don't know how to deal with them and whatever.
So you do.
So I found somebody local, and I was there when he came, and I saw what he did, and I actually was the one who wrote the check for her, to him.
And you were there for her.
Yeah,
You made sure that he was a good guy.
absolutely.
That's something that we need more of. Somebody like Jim, who you stick with it to make sure that, this lady didn't get taken advantage of.
Yeah,
It's just like this Wednesday, you're going to be taking somebody in for surgery, and you're going to not just dump them off at the door.
I'll
Jim's
be
going to
with
be there in the waiting.
absolutely.
It's a great idea. I don't know, do you think strike you as someone who would like a little stuffed animal? Because usually gift shops are in the hospitals. We grown-ups still, I know when I had recent surgery, my husband came around the door with this cute little, the ones with the big bug eyes now, the stuffed animals with
Yeah.
he came around, looks like an owl, I think it's an owl. To me, that was a blast. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't think that we ever really outgrow that, do we?
I don't see her as being
Or maybe something else.
very plain people. I don't see her as being a person that would
No?
like something like that.
Maybe a puzzle book.
I'll bring her some flowers.
Or they do have special Mylar balloons now, in the gift shops at the hospitals. Now, we're going down the list. Home, waiting, so you'll sit there and you'll wait for the plumber to come for some.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody calls me, or it's usually, I don't get separate calls, they're usually a client.
Yeah.
And they say, I have to be out, but I have a plumber coming between 10 and 2.
Yeah.
Can you
And
come
you're
and wait
there.
for him?
And you are there.
So I'm not, I sit and read a book and I wait for the plumber to come, or the cable company or whoever.
You're a doggy sitter, too.
I don't do a lot of that. I love dogs, especially little puppies,
Yeah.
when they jump up and lick
You
your
don't mind the
face.
dust roll. You don't mind that.
Yeah.
No. Have you ever taken care of a basset hound?
No.
I love basset. That's what I want. I've always loved them since I was little.
The big ears?
Yeah, and they're like, how you doing?
Yeah.
And they're not hyper. They're just like, I'm coming. I'm
Yeah.
coming.
I like little lap dogs that jump on your lap and lick your face.
You like that?
Oh, I love that.
We've got a cat, so that.
I'm not a cat guy.
All right. So what did I just do?
Fell down that
Yeah. Residential checks while away. There you go.
Yeah. So some of the people I deal with, not now, because the one that I did it mostly for has passed away, unfortunately. But they would go to Florida
Yeah.
during the winter.
Sure.
And so I would go check the house out on a regular basis, make sure everything's okay,
Yeah.
water's okay, collect any papers or flyers that were in the driveway, things like that.
We're talking again with Jim Noble, and he is the guru of Caring Hands. This is his own business, his own baby. Jim, again, how can people reach you?
They can call me on my cell phone, which is 508-889-6444, or they can email me at jim.mycaringhands@gmail.com.
Jim, you must have a favorite thing that you do. Is it going in, let's say somebody has a father who would like to play poker or cards. Do you ever go in and do that type of thing?
I have a gentleman that I go in and spend 3 or 4 hours a week with, and we play cards the whole time.
I'll bet he loves that.
And the interesting thing is, he is a stroke victim, and he has a hard time communicating.
Yeah.
But when we play cards, he gets out what he wants to say.
And he does it. He's able to talk with you.
Yeah.
You don't do anything medical. No, you don't do the medicines. Nothing
Don't
like
do
that.
any of that. I don't feed people. Will I help people do things? Yeah. But they have to be capable of doing it.
All right, so you don't go in and make a meal for them. That's not
No,
what you do.
no.
Well, I was just talking with our previous guest about, I had heard that, God help us, I hope it doesn't stop, that Meals on Wheels might have been ratcheted. How on earth can they do such a thing? Really? Come on. If you're going to take it from something else that doesn't need the money. You don't do
Don't even
this.
get me on that subject.
Oh, I think we're thinking on the same thing. You
Oh,
don't take
yes.
from that. No.
it's
You don't do that. So when people call you, Jim, or they email you, maybe it's the kids or maybe it's the person themselves. These days, people are living way up there. They can. What do you say that you would charge? For instance, just an example.
I have one simple charge.
One simple.
One simple charge.
One charge, and it does all.
$25 an hour,
That's it.
a minimum of 2 hours. That's the only thing I ask. And for the most part, I don't charge travel time. I mean, if someone's an hour away, I certainly might do that. And I don't charge mileage
Yeah.
unless we're going on a long distance or things like that. I try to be very fair with these people
That is extremely fair.
because majority of them don't have lots of money.
Oh, no, no, and you know, a
And
lot,
it doesn't mean to say I won't do things for people
Right.
who can't afford me.
exactly, yes, you shared that with me. You have a good heart, and like, hey, I'll be there, right? I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
Now, this lady that you're gonna help take to surgery, will you charge by the hour, or no, you would just charge one fee? Just that, they're just 25 an hour? That's gonna be a long day, maybe.
It might be. And actually, I believe they can afford it. But let's say she was there 4 or 5 hours.
Sure, yeah,
And she said, you know, that's a little much for me.
sure.
Jim Noble would say, what do you think is right for you?
Yeah.
Say, well, usually 2 hours and $50. Okay, I would do that.
They don't make them like you anymore.
Well,
So if I hear you, I'm like
I'm not
that.
trying to get rich on it. I'm just,
No, yeah,
I want to be helpful. I want to keep myself occupied.
Yeah.
I like a little extra cash flow.
And you enjoy it. It's
And
all over your face.
it
You
is. I have
absolutely
fun
enjoy-
doing it.
Oh, like I said, I wish my father and mother were still alive. Especially Dad would get a big kick out of being with you. Do you ever get into fun discussions like politics and world affairs?
All the time.
Oh, he
all
would.
the
He
time.
would have loved that with you.
All the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the people that I deal with, the gentleman I was talking about was 92.
Yeah, just a kid.
Yeah. He was a science teacher.
Yeah.
So just recently I said to him, you must be familiar with the periodic chart. Oh yeah, the whatever it's called. I said, oh, what are some of the, and this is a guy that can't remember what happened a minute ago. I said, well, what is, if you wanted silver, what is silver? He said, AL or something, I don't know. And what about coal? And
And he's got it right in here.
boom, boom,
But he
boom.
can't tell you where he is.
He cannot.
He'll say over and over again, "Where am I now? What
Why
time
am I here?
Why am I here?" But he's not sad. He just wants to know.
There are times he is sad because he says, I always could take care of myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it harder with
You have
the
to
men?
work around that.
Do you think it's harder with the guys when they have to let go a little bit? My father wouldn't let go. He's a bulldog.
I find women and men are the same. Women don't want to get let go either.
I don't think Mom was crazy about the nursing home.
My mother hated it. My mother, when she found out that she was not going to be able to go home,
Yeah.
basically, and I helped take care of her and my mother-in-law,
Oh.
but my mother stopped eating and stopped drinking and passed away in like 3 weeks.
Almost like my father. He just didn't take care. He was the
She
caretaker.
did not want to live.
I think he wanted to. He just didn't realize he had to take care of himself.
She didn't.
Oh, he
She
wanted
said,
to.
I'm not going home. I have to go home. I said, and I used to say, well, if you work hard with physical therapy, you'll,
You'll be fine.
you may, yeah.
Sure.
She said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to go home.
She didn't want to.
I don't know.
We are talking with the wonderful Jim Noble, and boy, am I glad I've had you on the
You
show.
do my ego so
Yeah, but
so
I'd say
good
this is
here.
right up my alley. I love philanthropy. Okay, that's easy for some people who have it to give away money. But when you give of yourself, there you go. You're going to be on the show again because I want to keep getting the word out about you, Jim. Don't forget to leave. Don't forget to leave
you.
your cards downstairs on our bulletin board.
I was actually going to put one of my flyers up there.
Oh, do it. Really. And I would go over, if I were you, I would go over to UMass Medical. I don't know if you've ever been in there. They have a nice cafeteria, huge, but they also have a huge public bulletin board
In
on your
what
way
town?
out. Over in Worcester,
In Worcester, okay.
the UMass Medical, the main campus, Lake Street. They have a huge bulletin board. I've advertised there for things.
Yeah.
Do it. Absolutely use that.
Yeah. I do a lot of
yeah.
flyers and things at senior centers,
Yeah.
in restaurants.
Does
that
it
have
work?
bulletin
Does it
boards.
work at the senior center? Will they call you?
Some do and some don't.
It's the kids that call you.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
I think this
Yeah.
is all. We got to get the word out more about you, okay?
God love you.
There you are. Thanks, Jim, for being on the show.
And thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.